Welcome, wrestling fans, to the 13th edition of Joe's Hardcore Wrestling Talk Show. I'm your host, Hardcore Joe, and we've got two great guests for you. At this time, let's bring on, from Providence, Rhode Island, a great independent wrestling star. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Padula. How you doing, Dave? Good. And we'd also like to bring on, from his mother's estate in Newport, Rhode Island, Mark Middleton. How you doing, Mark?
I was promised David Letterman. You're not David Letterman. I'm not shaking your hand. Get away from me.
I don't know.
What brings you guys here on Joe's Hardcore Wrestling?
Well, Joe, we heard you got one of the best cable shows out here for wrestling. You know, you want to introduce new talent. You know, that's what we are. We're talent. We're trying to make a name for ourselves, and hopefully, shows. You know, that's what this show can do for us.
Same for you, Mark?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, which organizations have you wrestled for in the past in the span of your career, and who do you currently wrestle for?
Myself, I started in '93 with the New England Wrestling Alliance out of Rhode Island. From there, I worked with Yankee Pro Wrestling, New England Pro, and currently part of. I'm very happy to be part of Mayhem Championship Wrestling.
Well, let me give you a little story here. First of all, for those of you who don't know who I am Marcus O. Middleton, the independent wrestling world heavyweight champion. There is no place that I haven't been, and there's nobody that I haven't beaten. And right now, I also am associated with Mayhem Championship Wrestling, the greatest organization this side of Philadelphia.
And, well, I'm sure you guys, over the span of your career, have had many injuries. If so, which were they that stood out the most in your mind?
Geez, I think one of the one that stands out in my mind is the recent one, December 5th in somewhere in Adams, Massachusetts. I worked with Jose Perez in probably one of the most violent hardcore matches I ever had in a while, and did some damage to my left knee. Kept me out for about a good 6 months now. I'm starting to get back in. I've had everything from everybody knows Tiny the Terrible and Half Nelson, the midgets. I don't know, I kind of feel embarrassed saying this, but Half Nelson actually pushed my bottom jaw back in a match. But
Sorry.
It's not funny. Back in '94, I had that injury. You know, injuries happen. You know, I mean, you can fall just walking up the stairs, which I've done twice. But once again, I'm not going to admit that.
And Mark, have you had any injuries in your career?
No, I'm too good.
Okay, nicely done. Do you guys have a dream match in the sport of wrestling? Anybody, any federation, even if they're passed away, that you would, like to wrestle?
Right now, two people that I can come up with right now would be Terry Funk, for the simple fact the man is a legend. The man can wrestle, he can brawl, go hardcore. And of course, for 2 years, I've been trying to get with Abdullah Butcher.
My dream match is my specialty, a Newport hardcore match. And that, my friends, is going to be happening very soon through Mayhem Independent Wrestling. You just watch.
Is he for real? Is he for real?
I guess so.
Very real.
I think you're living a dream. Oh, yeah.
And Mark, aside from this title right here, have you held any other titles, or are you looking to hold any other titles in the independent wrestling?
I am the Independent Wrestling World's Heavyweight Champion. What more do I need?
Well put. Dave Padula, any other titles?
Well, right now I'm the current Mayhem Hardcore Champion, which I just won back in June 5th in Ambridge, Pennsylvania, from Black Wolf, which that has to be the biggest match of my career. I mean, I was the first Mayhem Heavyweight Champion. That happened back in September in Westport, Massachusetts, and that title meant a lot to me, but this hardcore title means a lot more, not because of the title itself, because of the match. It was probably the most violent match that I've ever had. It was, I mean, we went through, he belly suplexed me through a table. I came down 40 flights of a balcony stairs. We busted a wooden chair over my head. I mean, we went all out. We had thumbtacks, we had the whole 9 yards. So it was definitely one of my favorite matches.
And how many years have you been pro in the sport?
Just a little over 6 right now.
Okay. And Mark, how many years pro?
I've been 5 years.
And how do you feel about the direction if you'd like to talk about this, the World Wrestling Federation is going in right now? The parents, not letting their kids watch it, the TV 14.
Well, the direction of the World Wrestling Federation and the World Championship Wrestling, I'm not in favor of. It's not wrestling, in my opinion. My opinion, wrestling was the days of the Von Erichs. I think after that, everything kind of went down the drain. It's more what they call soap opera sports entertainment. As far as the parents go, I think it's their jobs to educate their children, to talk to the children about what happens in the ring, what happens out of the ring. And I got a 6-year-old stepdaughter, and she knows what I do. But does she go to school and put the stun on people? Hell no. Why? I talk to her. I tell her, this move is a dangerous move. She learns. She knows she has to respect the moves. She's not going to do it. You got these kids they're out doing drugs, out in gangs. Why? The parents don't educate them. They don't talk. You got to talk to your children. Let me tell you something. If you have a 9-year-old children up at 10 o'clock at night watching Monday Night Raw, there are problems in the household. It shouldn't be like that.
Mark, any comments on this?
I think the WWF is heading in a great direction. Vince McMahon has brought this sport to a pinnacle where it's never been before. As far as the children staying up at night watching it, you're absolutely right. Last time I'm ever going to agree with you. You're absolutely right. Children should not be allowed to watch that. If parents see that it's too violent, then there is no reason for them to let their kids stay up until 11 o'clock every Monday night to watch wrestling. But as far as the aspect of it, as far as the WWF itself, it's going to new heights, coming into mainstream media like it's never been before. And Vince McMahon, my kudos.
I know for a fact Marcus's mom has to tape it for him because he goes to bed at 7 o'clock at night. So when he gets up and eats his Cheerios or Wheaties, whatever it is, at 6 o'clock in the morning, he reviews the tape. Of course his mom has to edit it because she doesn't want him seeing, all the profanity and the girls in the skirts because, it's Marcus, You can't watch that kind of stuff. It's Marcus.
I watch that stuff.
I'm sure you do.
And also, Mark, it's rumored that there was no such tournament, and this belt, this isn't a real belt. There's a lot of rumors going around. Also, another rumor that your mother may have possibly purchased the belt and given it to you.
Let me tell you something. This is the Independent Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship belt. Tell me that's not... Shut up. Tell me that's not real. I was in a tournament all over the world, from Europe to Asia, Australia, Japan, right here in the good old US of A. And let me tell you something. Shut up. My mother's lawyer, Justin Sidervag, has every single document that you need to show the legitimacy of this title.
And Mark, if there is one, who is your toughest opponent in the span of your career?
I'd probably have to say nobody.
Because you haven't wrestled anybody. If I'm mistaken, Amber's Massachusetts is supposed to be me and you for the hardcore title. What happened with that?
Well, it just so happened that I didn't want to get all bloody and yucky that day. So I called my mother on the phone. She wired me the money to put up for that worthless nincompoop Black Wolf to come into the ring to take that hardcore title to put it around my waist.
Let me tell you something. Me and Black Wolf don't see eye to eye. You can say whatever you want about the man, but he got in that ring with me. And he put up one hell of a fight. When are you going to step in the ring with me?
Everything can be arranged through my mother's lawyer, Justin Sidervag.
Justin Sider what? What the? Oh, this boy needs help.
Esquire.
Oh, God help me.
And Dave, who is your toughest opponent?
Toughest? I face everybody from Rick Fuller, Black Wolf, Kyle Storm, Matt Storm. I've had some really good feuds with these guys,
I
but
wrestle Matt Storm.
the one that stands out right now is Jose Perez. We've been in the business for about over 5 years now together. We were part of an organization. We're part of a team, and the last 2 years we had some of the best hardcore matches. And I give my props to the boy, but Jose, brother, step in the ring with me. We've had some great wrestling matches, some great brawls, some great fights, and I always welcome that. I think he's one of probably the most toughest all-around wrestlers I've ever faced.
And what's the favorite match you've witnessed, any federation, whether you were in it or not?
Well, this is going to have to go to a question I see you have written here about my favorite wrestler. When I think back about wrestling and matches that come to mind is Steamboat versus Flair, Steamboat versus Savage, Steamboat versus Morocco. So what does that say? Passion Booger? No, Ricky Steamboat. He's my favorite wrestler. Every match that he's been in, every feud, him and Steve Austin and everything, I think they've had great matches.
And Mark, what about you? Is there a favorite out there?
Well, other than, of course, my favorite match being me winning the Independent World Heavyweight Championship, I'd have to say the greatest match I ever witnessed, WrestleMania 10, Madison Square Garden, Bret Hart against Owen Hart.
Yes, that was a very good match. Also, Mark, do you have a dream match? Anybody you could face?
Like I said, just that Newport Hardcore match, which even Mayhem is afraid to book because of the intensity of this match.
You're talking about Newport Hardcore belt. I mean, I seen promos that you've done for this thing, and I seen these weapons you brought: a plastic chain, a wiffle bat, thumbtacks with the needle with the points cut off. What's all that about?
They hurt. Trust me, they hurt.
What needs help? Barbed wire with the clippings off, just a strand of metal.
Let me run that across your head. See how you feel afterwards.
Boy needs help, I'm telling you.
And, well, do you guys have any future plans here on the independent wrestling? Where are you headed? We know you've been out for a while.
Yeah, I've been out for about 6 months now, and like I said, I'm very proud and very happy to be with Mayhem Wrestling. They're great organization, good front office. Out there, you can't trust nobody. That's one thing I've learned in the last few years. There's a lot of politics. I mean, everywhere from the the three majors down to the independents, and you got to watch your back. But with Mayhem, it's like a big family right now. We do our thing. We're putting on some great shows, and I'll give my props off to Yankee Pro Wrestling. I think they gave probably a big start for me back in '95, and they gave me a chance to they gave me some good pushes. But like I said, there's a lot of politics out there. But if they ever want to give me a call to do a match with them, they know how to reach me.
And do you have any future one?
Just to defend my belt all around the world, anywhere I can, against anyone who wants a shot.
And of course, the Hardcore Wrestling Federation will be making its debut, Ring Wars, you to take on in a barbed wire thumbtack match, Jose Perez. Any comments on that match?
Like I said, when me and Jose step into the ring, you never know what to expect. I mean, we've gone into hardcore matches where we start out 100%, technical wrestling, and like I said, last match we had was Adams, Massachusetts. We went in there, it was all out. We had the baseball bat with the barbed wire. We had telephones and computer keyboards and whatnot, and you don't know what to expect. You want us to do a hardcore match. They want us to, to bring barbed wire and stuff. We'll bring it. We'll bring whatever we can, and as long as you guys don't put a limit on us, might be some fire. ECW is pulling this two-table fire match, and we want to make a name for ourselves, so we might have to just top that.
Also, Mark, any comments on the Hardcore Wrestling Federation? Will you be watching that event or attending it?
Let me tell you something. I am too hardcore for the Hardcore Wrestling Alliance, or whatever the hell the name is. I'm getting pretty sick of this interview, so let me just tell you one thing.
You don't have to put this in your mouth, you know what I mean? I don't know what you're thinking about right now, but good distance.
Let me tell you something. You're lucky my lawyer is not here to take care of you.
Ooh.
I could hit you with one hell of a lawsuit. Let me tell you something right now. You know something? I'm getting pretty sick of this, and in parting, I just want to say one thing. Dave Padula, Livewire, I am so sick of you. I am so sick of everything that you do. You suck. I don't. And one thing you will never be is the World Independent Wrestling Champion.
Hey, Marcus, anytime you want to bring it on, brother, I'm right here. Any match you ever want to do, anywhere, Mayhem, sign a contract. I'm sure we can write something up on this piece of paper. Joe, I'm telling you, boy needs help. I don't know what to do.
Joe, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Joe's Hardcore Wrestling. We thank you, Mark. And